What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Manel Kape has stepped in to defend Joshua Van after the young champion faced heavy backlash for how he celebrated his win over Alexandre Pantoja at UFC 323. Van has been under fire online, with many fans criticizing the way he reacted after the finish, especially given the circumstances surrounding the fight and Pantoja's reputation as one of the best fighters in the world. Pantoja's reign as champion came to an abrupt and unfortunate end when he injured his arm early in the bout after falling to the canvas. The sudden and fluky nature of the finish left some fans uncomfortable with Van's emotional celebration, arguing that the situation did not call for such an emphatic reaction. Despite that criticism, Van remained unapologetic, and now one of the division's most dangerous contenders has come to his defense. A week later, following Kape's knockout win over Brandon Royval, the flyweight contender sat down with TMZ and was asked about Van's celebration. Kape made it clear that he had no issue with how the 24-year-old reacted in the moment. He explained that not everyone has the maturity or presence of mind to process such a massive achievement instantly, especially when it is their first time winning a world title. Kape emphasized that people are often too quick to judge something they have never experienced themselves. He pointed out that very few fighters ever get the chance to win a championship belt, so outsiders should not pretend to understand how it feels in that moment. According to Kape, Van will go home, calm down, and reflect, but the celebration itself should not define him. He went even further, saying that at the end of the day, nobody really cares about the celebration. What matters is who holds the belt. In Kape's words, Joshua Van is the real champion, and that is all that counts. However, his support came with a warning. Kape made it clear that while he respects Van as champion, he is coming for him. Kape stated that he is targeting the head of the real champion and sees Van as the true title holder of the division. While Kape waits to see if he will be next in line, Pantoja has reportedly said he will not be sidelined for long. If that holds true, a rematch between Pantoja and Van could soon be back on the table. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Andrew Tate's return to combat sports did not go the way he imagined, and he openly addressed the disappointment following his latest fight. On Saturday night, Tate stepped back into the ring for the first time in 5 years, challenging Chase D'Amour for the Misfits heavyweight title at Misfits Mania, held at the duty-free tennis stadium in Dubai, UAE. After a solid early showing, Tate began to slow down as the fight progressed and was eventually outworked by the bigger and younger opponent, losing by majority decision. Speaking at the post-fight press conference, Tate reflected honestly on the loss and revealed something unexpected. He admitted that for the first time in his career, he felt fear in the lead-up to a fight. He said the result was not what he wanted, but explained that the real goal was to see if he could still step in there and compete at all. He emphasized that he did not quit, never retreated, and fought until the very end. Tate said he gave everything he had and made it clear he had no excuses. He showed full respect to Chase D'Amour, stating that Chase was the better man on the night and completely deserved the victory. He even said he was proud of him and happy that Misfits now has a true champion, calling D'Amour a legitimate title holder. Despite the loss, Tate insisted he was not disappointed in himself. He explained that disappointment would only exist if he had been too afraid to fight at all. He spoke about people telling him he was 40 years old, recently out of jail, dealing with major life issues, and questioning why he would take such a risk. According to Tate, those doubts triggered something deeper. He admitted feeling a tinge of fear for the first time in his life, and that exact feeling is what forced him to accept the fight. He said he cannot live with self-doubt, because doubt grows and leads to inaction. If he had to fight Chase again tomorrow, he said he would step in with complete belief in himself, even knowing the outcome of this fight. He closed by saying he is not afraid to lose, only afraid of never trying. Moving on to another news, Darren Till did not hide his frustration after watching Andrew Tate's fight, and his reaction quickly went viral. Till was in attendance for the event and had previously been pushing for a potential fight with Tate, but he ended up leaving the arena midway through the bout, clearly unimpressed by what he was seeing. Speaking afterward, Till explained that he has given more than 20 years of his life to combat sports and started out purely in striking martial arts. He said he considers himself one of the best striking martial artists in the world, which made the situation even more irritating for him. Watching fighters he described as clueless call him out was something he could not tolerate. Till said the fight disrespected everything he believes in and everything he has trained for. He added that watching it felt like he was unlearning the sport in real time, and he simply had to walk away. Moving on to another news, the MMA community did not hold back after Andrew Tate's loss, with fighters and fans quickly piling on across social media. Many claimed the fight finally exposed him, and several well-known names shared brutal reactions in real time. Sean Strickland was one of the first to weigh in, writing that he had warned people for years and saying Tate being an AKA champion meant nothing, adding that at least he is exposed now. Bisping followed with a short but cutting response, calling the performance hilariously bad and offering no sympathy at all. Kevin Lee also joined the conversation, tweeting that people should now believe fighters when they say Andrew Tate could never really fight. Leah McCourt provided a more detailed breakdown, saying the bout played out exactly how she expected. She noted that Chase Demore looked rough, Tate looked only slightly better, and pointed out that Tate mostly body spars in his videos. She added that both fighters looked exhausted and called it a poor quality fight overall. The reaction summed up just how unforgiving the MMA world can be after a loss. Moving on to another news, Aljamain Sterling made it very clear that he is done waiting and is ready to shake up the featherweight division. Speaking with confidence and urgency, Sterling called out several top contenders and said he wants the toughest challenges available as soon as possible. He said he feels strong, motivated, and prepared to face anyone who steps in front of him. Sterling first mentioned Lerone Murphy, saying he is ready to fight him in February or even March, even offering to travel to Murphy's hometown. He followed that by calling out Yair Rodriguez, making it clear he wants that matchup next. Sterling then turned his attention to Movsar Evloev, stating confidently that he already won that fight in his mind and is more than ready to prove it again inside the cage. He told everyone to bring the heat and said he is prepared to fight all of them. Sterling urged Dana White to make the matchups happen and said if the fights lead to a massive stage, even the White House, he is willing to show up there too. He emphasized that at this point in his career, he is focused on making money and staying active. Sterling reminded everyone that he is 36 years old and not getting any younger. He finished by saying it is time to stop wasting opportunities, step up and get the fights done now. Moving on to another news, Jake Paul just banked one of the biggest paydays in modern combat sports history. Jake Paul's massive payday has been revealed following his bout with Anthony Joshua, and the numbers are almost unreal. Despite suffering a brutal TKO loss that left his jaw broken in 2 places, the financial outcome was staggering. Fans immediately wanted to know how much Paul earned for stepping into the ring, and multiple reports confirmed a jaw-dropping figure of $92 million. After the fight, Paul admitted he believed he would win, but reality hit hard. He acknowledged the broken jaw, said he learned the hard way, and promised he would heal and return. The loss did nothing to slow the momentum around his earning power, because the breakdown of his purse only made the story louder. Based on the official estimates, Paul earned roughly $93,000 for every single second he spent in the ring. That equals about $5.58 million per minute and an eye-watering $15.3 million per round. In any era of boxing, those numbers would sound absurd. Coming in a defeat, they feel almost surreal. The viral moment came when a fan on X asked if Paul would let someone break his jaw for $92 million. His response was immediate and direct: yes. That single word summed up the business side of modern prize fighting better than any long explanation ever could. According to reports, Anthony Joshua earned the exact same amount. The total purse reached $184 million and was split evenly between both fighters. Win or lose, this fight proved that star power now pays just as much as victory, and it reshaped expectations for boxing paydays across the global fight landscape today worldwide. Moving on to another news. Tom Aspinall has shared his honest reaction to the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, and he was far from impressed. Speaking in a recent video on his YouTube channel, Aspinall explained that the bout delivered almost exactly what he expected and did little to excite him as a viewer. While the fight drew massive attention, Aspinall felt the action itself never truly lived up to the hype. He said the contest was not particularly fun to watch and described it as just all right. From his perspective, the outcome followed a very predictable path from the opening bell. Aspinall made it clear that he never believed Jake Paul would stand and trade shots with Joshua early in the fight, explaining that doing so would have been a terrible decision and almost guaranteed disaster. According to Aspinall, Paul's approach was obvious. He tried to stay mobile, stay on his bike, and avoid prolonged exchanges with a much bigger and more experienced boxer. Aspinall acknowledged that this strategy made sense in theory, especially against someone with Joshua's power. However, he also pointed out the major flaw in that game plan. He explained that you simply cannot move and avoid engagement for the entire fight. Eventually, fatigue sets in, the space disappears, and at some point you are forced to trade. When that moment finally arrived, Aspinall said the result was inevitable. Once Paul had to stand his ground and exchange, he was caught and knocked out. For Aspinall, the fight served as a clear reminder of the gap between elite heavyweight boxing and celebrity crossover bouts. He concluded that while the event made headlines, the result itself was never really in doubt and played out exactly as logic suggested it would. Moving on to another news. Israel Adesanya has sparked serious debate by suggesting the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight may not have been as genuine as it appeared. During a live watch-along on his YouTube channel, Adesanya questioned whether Joshua deliberately carried Paul deep into the fight instead of finishing him early. As the rounds unfolded, his reactions became more intense, especially after multiple knockdowns that still failed to end the contest. Watching the action, Adesanya sounded shocked as Paul kept getting back up. He pointed out that the first knockdown looked decisive, but then came another, and another, each one adding to his disbelief. As the referee counted and the round continued, Adesanya reacted with a mix of excitement and confusion, saying that it should have been over by then. When the fight finally reached its conclusion, he sarcastically praised Paul for surviving and congratulated him for lasting as long as he did. After the final bell, Adesanya shared his honest thoughts. He said it felt like AJ carried Jake Paul all the way to the 6th round. He acknowledged his own background in combat sports and said he understands fighting at a high level, but the pacing of the bout did not sit right with him. According to Adesanya, Joshua appeared to hold back, choosing control over an early knockout. He added that while it may look strange to fans, this outcome might have been the most realistic or best possible result for everyone involved. The fight delivered drama, knockdowns, and a clean ending without completely embarrassing either side. Adesanya did not directly accuse anyone of fixing the bout, but his comments clearly implied that something felt calculated. The reaction quickly spread online, with fans debating whether Joshua showed mercy, protected the spectacle, or simply followed a smart game plan. Regardless of intent, Adesanya's words added fuel to an already heated conversation. Moving on to another news. Brendan Schaub has stepped up to defend Jake Paul following his loss to Anthony Joshua, pushing back hard against the wave of criticism aimed at Paul after the fight. Many fans and analysts accused Paul of spending most of the bout trying to survive rather than truly compete, pointing to his cautious movement and defensive approach as evidence. Schaub acknowledged those criticisms, but made it clear he believes they miss the bigger picture. Speaking openly, he said people can question the fight, the performance, and even the matchmaking, and that is all fair. He admitted he also has questions about certain bouts, including the Joshua fight and past matchups, but insisted that focusing only on that ignores Paul's real impact. According to Schaub, no one has done more for the sport of boxing in the last 15 years than Jake Paul. He emphasized that statement repeatedly, saying it is not even close. Schaub explained that fans can dislike Paul, doubt his boxing skills, or criticize the fights, but the influence cannot be denied. He pointed out that boxing has struggled to connect with younger audiences for years. Many younger fans, he said, cannot even name 5 active boxers, yet they all know Jake Paul. That level of recognition, Schaub argued, is something most traditional champions never achieve. Schaub also highlighted the business side of the sport. He questioned what other mainstream boxer could secure a massive streaming deal with Netflix as a main event attraction. In his view, there is no one else currently capable of doing that. Despite all the negativity surrounding Paul, Schaub concluded that he remains the most important figure in boxing today. He stated that regardless of personal opinions or technical critiques, Paul has brought attention, money, and relevance back to a sport that desperately needed it. Schaub ended by standing firm on his stance, saying, people can say whatever they want, but the facts speak for themselves. Moving on to another news. Ilia Topuria fired back at Arman after a recent online exchange that sparked major attention. A few days ago, Arman mocked Ilia on social media, writing that he was living rent-free in Paddy's head. When another user replied asking about El Pato, referring to Ilia, Arman added that he was busy with his ex that day. Ilia did not hold back in his response, Speaking candidly, Ilia told Arman to go himself, making it clear that he was frustrated with the comments. He acknowledged that Arman is a good fighter and that he had his chances, but criticized him for refusing to compete. Ilia emphasized that all fighters experience arm pain, leg pain, and countless other challenges, yet they still show up to fight. His point was that stepping into the cage requires commitment, courage, and resilience, qualities he felt Arman was lacking in that situation. Ilia's comments also included a sharp jab at Arman's decision-making, suggesting that maybe he needed to rethink his choices, even humorously hinting he might need to change his underwear after making that call. Ilia's frustration was palpable, and he ended his statement firmly, leaving no doubt about his feelings toward Arman. In Ilia's words, Arman can go himself from here, making it clear that he is done engaging with the mockery and is focused on his own path in the sport.